Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Minister, I don't have, I only have one question. I know it's been touched on today by both Madame Boivin and Mr. Scarpaleggia, but I want to get a little, maybe drill down just a little bit more. The definition of peace officer in the section of the legislation, it mentions other persons employed for the preservation and maintenance of the public peace. Do we know who would be sort of grabbed within that catch-all phrase, and is it coming from a certain section of the criminal code? Do we?
Well, peace officer, if you have a look at section 2 of the criminal code, sets out a wide range of individuals who, as I say, I indicated, I mean, starting with the municipal government, to make sure we don't just have mayors, we have reeves as well that are contained with that, the pilot of a plane, for instance, individuals under, a dozen different federal statutes come within the definition of a peace officer. And again, I guess the question you'd have to ask yourself, is it absolutely necessary that they would have this particular power? What is it that they are doing that they would have to intercept the private communications of an individual? And I think you might come to the conclusion and say, I can't imagine some of these individuals, how and where and why that would be necessary for them in their roles, their respective roles. And so I thought, and I believe, and I hope that it's your opinion as well, by your analysis of this bill, that it was appropriate that we defined it a little more clearly as to exactly who it is that has this ability in an emergency situation to prevent imminent harm, to intercept the private community, otherwise private communications of individuals. And so that, I think, was very important. And again, it was one of the things we didn't have to do, but it seemed to me that it made sense. I mean, one of the things that you will notice about the Say decision when you go through, that there is, sometimes we call it obiter. I mean, there are thoughts and discussions that take place on a number of different areas, but they do give us sometimes, direction on where we might go, so that we're not challenged at some future case on some of these issues. And so I think it's entirely appropriate to have a look at those suggestions and incorporate them into the bill, as I indicated to Madame Boivin, that we've gone beyond, we've done what they wanted, but we've gone beyond that as well. And I think, again, and I hope it's your analysis looking at this bill at committee, that you will agree as well that we're better to define exactly which unlawful acts we're talking about. We're better to define exactly who it is that can and should do this. And yes, it is a good idea for provincial attorneys general, but it's good for the public safety minister as well to do that. You notice I didn't put justice minister in, I got public safety minister in, that he can take on that responsibility, and why not? I think it's a very good idea.
Great.